Now on Coast TV News.
Smoky skies are possible once again today due to the New Jersey wildfires. Dry and pleasant the rest of the week with rain for a part of the weekend. I'll track the smoke and the rain on future casts coming up next.
Wildfire wreckage. The effects of the fire reached the Delaware coast while crews in New Jersey are working to get it under control.
Home for shows, we look at two coastal cities considering plans for one local theater.
Development decision.
If you think traffic's bad here, go to New York or Washington or Los Angeles.
What is next for the Overfall Preserve development in Lewis?
This is Coast TV News Today.
And it is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
And Elisa, we're heading into the final weekend of April.
Believe.
It is in sight.
I know.
Then it's May. What a fantastic month May is.
And then it's June. And students in school, less than 2 months left of school.
Oh, you know, I would think, especially if you're a senior in high school.
I know.
Senioritis.
College,
countdown's
you
on.
Probably have like 3 weeks left of college. I know my brother's done in like 2.5 weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah, speaking of a guy who never experienced senioritis, let's go to First Alert meteorologist Bob Tri. Bob, you were studying right up until the final days of school.
I'll have you know, my high school was about 10 minutes from the ocean on Long Island, so senioritis kicked in every once in a while. But good morning, guys. Good morning, Delmarva. And we have a full array of temperatures this morning that are chilly out there in the 40s, 45 in Millsboro, 45 Dagsboro, Gumboro and Delmar at 43, 46 in Seaford. You need that heavier jacket inland areas. 50 at Rehoboth right now, 51 in Ocean City as the winds are calm. Now, yesterday they were out of the northeast and we were seeing some of that smoke from those fires. More on that coming up here shortly. But we are looking at mainly clear skies right now. It's chilly as we're smack dab under high pressure at the present time. Now, we want to track the smoke. I do want to caution you in a way that if you do suffer from health problems, you probably want to stay in filtered air today. Here's the smoke at 8:30 from Salisbury into the eastern shore, so we could have that hazy look and also that smoky smell from Seaford to Ocean View around 10:30 in the rest of the eastern shore. Then we start to see the thickest of the smoke and haze across the eastern shore and to our north by 2 p.m. I think a southeasterly breeze will start to kind of dissipate the smoke and haze as we go into the afternoon. Your day part forecast, it's a chilly one early on with 40s, then mid-morning around 60, and then we're warming into the 70s, and there's that southeast wind kicking in this afternoon with temperatures into the mid-70s. Pleasant the rest of the week, but it looks like a rainy start to the weekend. Much more on that and the smoke coming up in my full forecast a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this half hour is just what Bob was talking about, those wildfires in New Jersey. And yesterday, if you were in the Lewis area, you could see that haze from the smoke coming from the fires on the other side of the Delaware Bay. You could also smell it. Now, right now, New Jersey crews continue to battle the wildfire burning in Ocean County. The Jones Road fire sparked shortly before 12:30 p.m. on Tuesday at the Greenwood Forest Wildlife Management Area. So far, one commercial structure has been destroyed, along with a number of smaller cabin vehicles. Crews say weather could be a factor in difficulty in putting out the blaze.
Really dry right now, droughty. We're still in a drought, so fuels are dry. We're at the peak fire season here. April 20th is right at peak.
Officials say no injuries have been reported. Evacuations are 100% lifted. A cause of the fire has yet been determined.
New this morning in Lewis, we should see more plans being brought to front about the Clear Space Theater in the city. There has been interest on both sides ever since the Rehoboth Beach-based theater withdrew a request to build a new facility on the Rehoboth Avenue after backlash from some neighbors. Mayor Andrew Williams and the city council are scheduled to go over a market study on bringing that theater to Lewis.
And we're still waiting the next steps in Rehoboth Beach's plans for Clear Space. Last month, officials revealed attempts to keep the theater in that city. It calls for construction of a performing arts center on Christian Street with a $1 million contribution coming from Rehoboth Beach. The plot of land is currently leased to the Cape Henlopen Senior Center.
This just in, possible action on development plans for this plot of land you see on your screen right now in Lewis. You're looking at the location of the proposed Overfall Preserve site off of Savannah Road. The mayor and city council could take action on a proposal at a special meeting this morning. Coast TV went to Lewis to learn how people in the area feel about this, and there we heard mixed opinions about those plans.
Let the growth happen, but be relaxed about it. And if you think traffic's bad here, go to New York or Washington or Los Angeles. It's not that bad here.
This is a victim of its own success in that real estate is appreciating very much, which then causes people to say, oh, I want to build here, or I want to build a house here because it will naturally appreciate. The fact of the matter is you can go many places.
We reached out to the developer of that project but did not hear back, and that council meeting is this morning at 10 a.m.
In Ocean City tonight, the attempt to overturn the application denial for a marijuana dispensary. Public hearing is set by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Last month, the request for a shop on Philadelphia Avenue was turned down by the town's Planning and Zoning Commission, in part due to proximity to residential zones. The property's leaseholder, Mike Ramadan, and holder of the dispensary license, Sharif Shada, are disputing how the zoning was interpreted by the commission.
New this morning in Delaware, Governor Matt Meyer is giving out support for small businesses, according to the Division of Small Businesses. The state is relaunching the Small Business Credit Initiative. This program makes loans and direct investments more easily available to small business owners. The move comes as Delaware needs to spend about $14 million by the end of the year to reach its next allocation of federal funding.
Happening tonight, first round of the NFL Draft. Here you see the prep work that occurred this week at the site of the draft, Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Ravens pick 27th, Washington 28th, and the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles have the final pick in the first round at 32. Tennessee Titans have the very first selection. That should occur shortly after 8 p.m.
New overnight, Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings is joining 11 other attorney generals in a lawsuit against the Trump administration. This is over what they say are illegal tariffs. It's important to note that Maryland nor Virginia has joined this lawsuit. According to Jennings' office, in 2024, Delaware imported over $10 billion worth of goods and exported about $5 billion worth. Local companies such as Mount Air have already felt the impact of these tariffs.
Now we are taking a live look at Washington, D.C. The tariffs have generated plenty of reaction inside that building, the Capitol. Just a few blocks away, the Trump administration is preparing for its response. The president claims he has the right to impose tariffs unilaterally when fentanyl and border security are involved. He also argues trade deficits are a threat to national security.
As Amy Kiley shows us, the states filing the lawsuits include Delaware may not agree.
The president has absolutely no legal authority to issue these tariffs.
A group of 12 states is suing the Trump administration over the president's use of tariffs. It's taking the matter to the U.S. Court of International Trade. President Donald Trump claims he can impose tariffs single-handedly due to the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It gives the president authority to respond to unusual and extraordinary threats.
We started with the fentanyl border tariffs. The IEPA is also used for the trade deficit.
The lawsuit argues that's an overreach. It notes the Constitution gives Congress the power to collect taxes and duties. U.S. businesses have to pay applicable tariffs on imports. Experts say they often pass on some or all of that expense to consumers in the form of higher prices.
Arizona cannot afford this Trump tax increase. And make no mistake, no matter what Orwellian doublespeak the White House uses, tariffs are taxes.
The lawsuit comes as Trump is warning negotiations during his 90-day pause on so-called reciprocal tariffs might not last 90 days in some cases. He says he might have some rates settled in 2 or 3 weeks.
We're going to have great deals. And by the way, if we don't have a deal with a company or a country, we're going to set the tariff.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We are just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, exciting season opener. Ocean City Springfest begins today. Right, vendors say they always look forward to this event.
Also, Fenwick parking price fluctuates. We'll tell you what officials are considering to help people who work in the area.
But first, protecting pets. The gear local fire crews are now getting thanks to a caring community. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
People love their pets. Many even consider them as part of the family. So when disaster strikes, one neighborhood group wants to make sure first responders have the resources they need to help every member of the household. In this week's Coastal Connections, we introduce you to the animal lovers making that mission possible.
You're a good girl. Very good. We'll do anything for treats, right?
This is Pat Halko and her poodles, Gracie and Candy. Like most pet parents, she spoils them with treats, toys, even what she calls her poodle room. And it's a love that Pat shares with her neighbors, Debbie and Jane, just a few faces from the Peninsula Lakes Animal Lovers Group.
We have donated to Brandywine SPCA, to HAP, and to the ARC monetary donations.
But their latest initiative goes beyond the basics. They're donating life-saving equipment to local fire companies, pet oxygen masks.
Each kit comes complete. There is actually a set of 3 masks, a large, a small, and a medium. They can be used on various species, as we said, dogs, cats, ferrets, birds. Some people may even have a little pygmy pig in their house or something.
The difference between a pet oxygen mask and a human oxygen mask is simply the shape of it. You can see this is the pet oxygen mask, and a dog or cat or any other kind of pet, their snout could fit in here and the oxygen would obviously come through here. Now a human mask is more of a triangle shape, and you could fit a human's nose and mouth in it.
It's something that they have if they need it. Obviously, we wouldn't want them to have to, rely on it.
But the Indian River Fire Company has had to rely on them.
Over the last year, we have had 2 instances, one in Millsboro, where there was a pet involved, and they were successful in resuscitating and bringing the dog back to a process. And the second one was also a successful event.
Indian River Fire President Patrick Miller says the masks made all the difference.
I believe they were beneficial. It certainly gives them the ability to have a better quality of air delivery to their lungs and to their body, as opposed to a nasal cannula or another device that we would have to makeshift.
Now, thanks to the Animal Lovers Group, fire departments in Lewis and Millsboro have their own sets after a recent donation and presentation from Pat and the crew.
They are the lifeline for us, and it's important to support them and give them any help that we can.
Helping those who help us and the pets we love so much. For Coastal Connections, I'm Christina DeRobertis.
We're about to hit 5:17 on this Thursday morning. Here's a live look at the Bright Lights along the canal in Lewis. Bob, we do have a little bit of cooler temperatures to talk about this morning.
We do, Matt. We've got some areas that are dipping into the low 40s. Granted, your plants are fine, but boy, it's really dipping out there. And we have a full array of temperatures on our temperature map this morning. We're excited about that. 42 in Delmar, Gumboro 42, 43 in Dagsboro, Millsboro 44, Long Neck 43. So we're looking at chilly temperatures inland areas. Salisbury 45, at the beaches 51 in Ocean City. Bethany Beach right now, you're at 48 degrees. As we're looking at winds that are calm right now, of course, we had the northeast winds yesterday, and that is what brought in that smoke from the wildfires in New Jersey. And I think we will see the smoke for a time this morning. More on that coming up. But right now we're looking at mostly clear skies and those chilly conditions out the door. We do have some high clouds floating in from the west, but we've got high pressure right over the top of us, and that means variable winds as we go through the morning hours. And then as this high shifts offshore, we'll see more of a southeasterly wind, and I think the air quality will improve as we go into the afternoon. As we're looking at a front back to our west with clouds and showers here, I think high pressure will hang pretty tough across the east coast and keep us mainly dry. Let's track that smoke on future smoke as we're looking at some of that thicker smoke back through Salisbury into Maryland. By 10:30 around Seaford, western Sussex County for the eastern shore, you're in that smoke too. And the rest of us are seeing hazy conditions as well. And then we're seeing more of that smoke and haze from Dover to the eastern shore. But then I think by the afternoon with the southeast wind, those conditions will improve. Here's Futurecast this morning. It's chilly in the 40s. By mid-morning, we're in the low 60s, inland 50s at the coast. And then by 12:30, we're in the 70s, inland areas. Mid-70s, I think, is our final landing spot there, with 50s and 60s at the beaches. Then we'll increase the clouds as we go through the evening hours. Not as chilly as we go into Friday morning, with temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s. And a beautiful end to the week. Here's Friday with mid-70s late morning, increasing clouds into the afternoon, mid to upper 70s, inland cooler for the coast. And then we increase the clouds as we go into Friday night. And then as we go into the weekend, maybe have a plan B, because we're looking at increasing clouds and increasing showers as we go through the morning hours. Some of those could be heavy, and maybe also a rumble of thunder too, as a cold front is sweeping through in the evening hours. And then Sunday is drier and cooler, so we'll salvage part of the weekend. And as far as rain chances, about a quarter to about 3/10 of an inch of rain. We need the rain. I know it's not the best timing on the rain. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 75 today, 76 on Friday. Once again, the smoke more prevalent this morning. And then showers and storms on Saturday, 75. It cools down on Sunday, 68. And then mild into next week with more shower chances by Wednesday and a high of 84. Congratulations to Aria Nazamento from Ocean View, and they have a new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. Happening today, Fenwick Island will once again debate parking fees. This as the town's paid parking season begins May 15th. But instead of a price hike, a proposal has been made to decrease their seasonal pass prices for certain businesses. This is to help employees park closer to where they work. If this is approved, employees would only be allowed to use those spots between the hours of 4 and 10 p.m., allowing vacationers to use them during the day when they go to the beach. People living in Fenwick Island thinks this is a great idea.
I think that would be beneficial to both parties. I don't see it being a problem for the evening rush hour.
Budget and Finance Committee will discuss the proposed change at its meeting today at 2 p.m.
One chain restaurant is officially closed near Lewis. The Bob Evans on Route 1 and Postal Lane shut its doors this week. There's a sign on the door saying it's permanently closed. The next nearest Bob Evans location is in Camden.
Heads up if you drive in Selbyville. There's a road closure set to be in effect next week. According to DelDOT, the area will undergo road reconstruction. This is on Sound Church Road between Lighthouse Road and Lakeview Drive. DelDOT says work includes adding shoulders. The closure begins May 5th. It's expected to wrap up on May 27th, weather permitting.
In Milford, there's a push to make the city more appealing. There's a proposal on the table to plant wildflowers along the medians on Route 113. DelDOT says it is working with the city on the project, but Milford will be responsible with any costs. That includes materials, maintenance, and planting. According to city documents, it could cost more than $10,000.
It will look nice over there, look beautiful over there, but for that price, I don't see the common sense in it. But like I said, life doesn't make sense all the time, so what do you do?
And some of the flowers that would be planted include black-eyed Susans, mist flowers, or purple clovers.
New this morning, upgrades to playtime in Salisbury. City announcing improvements to Doverdale Playground. The playground equipment will get a facelift starting the week of April 30th. Because of the work area, the playground area will be closed for at least 2 weeks.
Also in Salisbury, an opportunity to meet future employers. The city says it will hold a job fair this weekend on April 26th. Representatives from multiple different industries will be in attendance, allowing people to network. The job fair takes place at the Newtown Community Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Up next, exciting season opener. Why vendors say Ocean City Springfest benefits them and what you can look forward to today. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
New this morning and starting today at 10 a.m., Ocean City's 34th annual Springfest kicks off. And just like last year, you can expect hundreds of vendors, each selling different and unique items, delicious food and drinks, and music flowing throughout the OC Inlet. One vendor who has a dog store right on the Ocean City Boardwalk can't wait to see thousands of people stop by their tent.
This is a really, really good kickoff for the season. We look forward to it all off season, especially this last off season was a little rough with the weather. So we're really looking forward to a good weekend.
And if you want to stop by and enjoy all the fun activities, Springfest will be open between April 24th to April 27th.
This Friday and Saturday, head over to the Harrington Fairgrounds for the DSN Outdoors Expo on Friday the 25th from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturday the 26th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Matt, it was cooler this morning when I walked out to my car. Nothing bad. Nothing
Did
to
anything
overreact.
register? We always track your thermometer in your car.
It said 50 degrees when I left where I lived to when I arrived at the station, 47.
There was a drop.
There was a drop.
Drop in that short drive.
Yeah.
Bob, again, I'm making my push for sunny and 75. Might not get that along the coast, though.
No, I don't think so. Not going to see that today. You'll see that inland areas, Matt and Elisa, but along the coast will be in the 60s and a little hazy and smoky this morning. I think conditions improve into the afternoon. Ocean City and Fenwick Island are looking at a mix of sun and clouds, lower 60s for Ocean City, mid 60s around Fenwick Island, UV index around moderate range, and waves around 1 to 2 feet, so they'll be pretty small. Lewis, you're looking at a mix of sun and clouds, close to 70 this afternoon. I think you're in the mid 60s in Rehoboth. On the bay side, watch for smoke, especially this morning in Cambridge, and low to mid 70s for you. A little smoky in Crisfield too, with highs near 70 as we go into the afternoon hours. Nice for the rest of the week, and then the weekend kind of 50-50. I'll explain more in my forecast in the next half hour.
After the break on CoastTV News today, dispensary debate how one Ocean City business plans to fight back after initial denial.
Also, clear space conversation. What 2 Sussex County cities are considering regarding one popular theater.
And crews continue to fight fire. We'll tell you the status of the New Jersey wildfire as we can feel the effects all the way here on Delmarva. CoastTV News today will be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
Smoky skies are possible once again today due to the New Jersey wildfires. Dry and pleasant the rest of the week with rain for a part of the weekend. I'll track the smoke and the rain on Futurecasts coming up next.
Emergency escalation. What is preventing crews across the Delaware Bay and getting the wildfire under control?
Cannabis clash, why one group says they have state law on their side in the attempt to overturn the denial of a marijuana business application.
Performing arts options. When once there were none, now the Clear Space Theater could have 2 plans for a new facility.
This is CoastTV News Today.
April 24th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 5:31 as we make our way on this Thursday morning.
And on this Thursday morning, I have a very important question to ask you. $1 million question.
Million.
Did you do your lawn work yesterday like we talked about?
Did weed whacking, grass cutting. Forgot to do some weed killing, though, with a little squirt bottle there, but maybe I'll get to that today. You're welcome to help, as always.
Oh,
Open invitation.
I think I'm busy. Maybe Bob would like to help you
Bob,
out.
could be fun. Could be fun. We have some sunny, warm weather to talk about.
I forgot that you were doing your lawn work yesterday. I would have come over and supervised. But I heard you did a really good job, Matt, so congratulations on that. It is that time of year. We have to get out there and take care of the lawn. I tell you what, it's a chilly start. Not frosty, but look at this. 42 in Willards, Gumboro, Delmar, Millsboro, 44, 43 in Dagsboro. So it's chilly. You need that heavier jacket out the door. 46 in Seaford, Milton 44, with Lewis at 52, Indian River Inlet at 53. Winds are calm as we have high pressure overhead right now with mainly clear skies. And of course, we had the smoke yesterday with a northeast flow, but the winds will be more variable and then turn out of the southeast with time. So here's that smoke as we go through the morning hours, kind of hazy and smoky around Salisbury towards Ocean View into the eastern shore around 8:30. By 10:30, western Sussex County and the eastern shore. If you have health problems, I would probably stay inside in filtered air, at least for the first half of the day. And then we'll see that thickest smoke and haze move off to the northwest as we start to see a southeasterly wind kind of cleaning up the atmosphere. For the kiddos at the bus stop this morning, kind of smoky and hazy, otherwise chilly, mostly sunny and 44 off to school, and heading home really nice, dry and mild, mostly sunny and 74 degrees.
And our top story this half hour, as Bob mentioned, New Jersey fire crews continue to battle a wildfire burning in Ocean County. And in Milton, where our station is located, you could smell and see the haze from that smoke yesterday afternoon. The Jones Road fire sparked shortly after 12:30 p.m. on Tuesday at the Greenwood Forest Wildfire Management Area. So far, one commercial structure has been destroyed, along with a number of smaller cabin vehicles. Officials said no injuries have been reported and evacuations are 100% lifted. The cause of that fire, though, remains under investigation.
Got an update coming out of Lewis. We should learn more about the plans for bringing the Clear Space Theater into that city. There's been interest on both sides ever since the Rehoboth Beach-based theater withdrew a request to build a new facility on Rehoboth Avenue. That was after backlash from some neighbors. Lewis Mayor Andrew Williams and the City Council are scheduled to go over a market study on bringing the theater to Lewis.
We are still awaiting the next steps in Rehoboth Beach's plans for the Clear Space Theater. Last month, officials revealed attempts to keep that theater in the city. It calls for construction of a performing arts center on Christian Street, with a $1 million contribution coming from Rehoboth Beach. That plot of land is currently leased to the Cape Henlopen Senior Center.
Happening tonight in Ocean City, the appeal of a marijuana dispensary application. It was denied last month. Back then, the town's Planning and Zoning Commission stated the business would be too close to areas zoned as residential. It was planned for the 2100 block of Philadelphia Avenue. The leaseholder, Mike Ramadan, and the dispensary license holder, Sharif Shada, are pushing back on that, claiming a state law establishing zoning requirements should allow them to open the business. Public hearing is scheduled at 6 p.m.
Developing news in Delaware, Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings is joining 11 other attorneys in general for the lawsuit against the Trump administration. This is over what they say are illegal tariffs. It's important to note that Maryland nor Virginia has joined that lawsuit. And according to Jennings' office, in 2024, Delaware imported over $10 billion worth of goods and exported almost $5 billion worth. Local companies such as Mount Air have already felt the impacts of these tariffs.
Now we're taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Right there's the White House. It is in the middle of your screen, even though it's dark. You might see a window on there. But officials inside the White House are beginning to react to a lawsuit. The president claims he can impose tariffs single-handedly due to the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It gives the president authority to respond to unusual and extraordinary threats. The lawsuit argues his use of that law is an overreach. It notes the Constitution gives Congress the power to collect taxes and duties.
We started with the fentanyl border tariffs. The IEPA is also used for the trade deficit.
The president has absolutely no legal authority to issue these tariffs.
Lawsuit comes as Trump says negotiations during his 90-day pause on what he calls reciprocal tariffs might not last the full 90 days.
Today, tens of thousands are again expected to fill St. Peter's Square as the public gets the chance to say goodbye to Pope Francis. His body will lie in state inside the historic St. Peter's Basilica through Friday evening.
NBC's Jay Gray shows us what many Catholics are looking for in the new leader of their church.
The line stretching from St. Peter's Basilica winds through and around its famous square, thousands waiting for hours to spend just a few seconds inside.
Walking in, it's such a surreal place, and it's very holy, and seeing the body and just remembering everything that he stood for is very important.
Important for so many, remembering the humility, kindness, and commitment to the less fortunate and disenfranchised, they say, defined Pope Francis.
Isn't he somebody very close to our hearts, somebody who made the church very accessible to everybody and inclusive to everybody, and yeah, like a family member for us, yeah.
For his church family, specifically 135 Catholic cardinals, his passing brings with it the difficult responsibility of deciding who among them will take his place.
We have to wait to pray and to have our meetings, and then afterwards we decide.
Those meetings, the highly secretive conclave behind the locked doors of the Sistine Chapel. Many here hopeful they will elect a new pope who will continue the mission and message of his predecessor.
And he taught us all how to be Christians and to be human. And we want Pope Francis II now.
As they honor the original. Jay Gray, NBC News at the Vatican.
Got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Home Business Debate will tell you when you can learn about the status of one proposed ordinance that's receiving mixed opinions.
Also heading to Montreal with momentum, the Caps take care of business on home ice as the playoff scene moves north of the border.
And Bethany Bike Safety will tell you how town officials will plan for the busy summer season. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Coming up on 541 on this mostly clear Thursday morning, Hershey Exteriors Cam 51 in Ocean City. Seeing the blue skies, a pleasant morning. A little hazy, maybe a little smoky too, and chilly with low 40s inland areas, 42 in Willards, Millsboro 44, Laurel 44. So leave extra time to warm up the car. Lower 50s in Lewis and Indian River Inlet as we do have calm conditions under high pressure. So we're looking at good visibility, dry roads with that high right over the top of us, and that's ensuring a nice day with some high clouds. Here's your drive cast. I did give it the yellow light because we are looking at smoky and hazy conditions as we go into this morning. Could limit visibility a little bit, so watch for that. And then improving air quality as we go into the afternoon and evening hours. Call the Coast TV First Alert Weather Phone, another way to get your forecast. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico.
Thank you, Bob. New this morning in Bethany Beach, bike safety takes center stage. According to the agenda, town officials will learn about safe speed from a guest speaker today. Officials will also plan for the busy summer season and discuss a traffic report. All this is taking place at the Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Committee meeting at 10 a.m. And happening today in Delaware, a group called Action for Delaware's Children is pushing for more protection from lead poisoning. They're hosting a public forum focused on some pending legislation in the General Assembly that would require landlords to make rentals safer for children. This includes considering the possible exposure to lead-based paint and its impacts. People can attend that forum at the Dover Public Library at 6 p.m.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
So far, the Battle of the Beltway belongs to the Nationals. The Nats have taken the first two games from the Orioles this year. Last night, James Wood got Washington off to a fast start with his 8th homer of the season. He's just the 9th player in Major League history, aged 22 or younger, with 8 jacks in a season before May 1st. Josh Bell also went deep for Washington. The Nats improved to 11-13 on the year. Baltimore drops to 9-14. The series finale is tonight at 6:45. And here on Delmarva, very excited for the premiere of Into the Trenches, a new voyage tonight at 7:30. Here's a preview of our exclusive docu-series on the Cape Henlopen football program.
The late run last season, and then trying to explain that we're a different team.
You got to work harder because you went to the state chip, because there's a target on your head.
Understanding the stresses that these kids are under it's a little bit unique for me.
The expectations are high.
You're gonna practice the way you play.
We can push even further this year and hopefully make a run for it again.
Into the Trenches, a new voyage. April 24th at 7:30 on the Delmarva Sports Network and DSN+. Sponsored by Preston Automotive.
And tonight, ahead of the NFL draft, head on over to DSN to watch Kayla Santiago's conversation with former Penn State coach Jay Paterno. The Nittany Lions have 2 players projected to hear their names called in the top 15. The draft airs tonight on ESPN at 8. Now do for sports.
Well, I'll be watching that. Coming up tonight on DSN at 4, high school softball border battle when Del Mar hosts Mardella. Then at 7:30, today's the day. You just heard about it, the premiere of Season 3 of Into the Trenches. 10:30, we have the final score. On the DSM Plus app at 4, you get that Del Mar Mardella softball game along with these exclusives. At 4, Bayside Conference softball when Cambridge South Dorchester hosts Easton. At 4:15, Henlopen Conference baseball, Cape visits Laurel. And also at that time, Sussex Central travels to Lake Forest in girls soccer. We talked about it, as you saw, Into the Trenches, back for its 3rd season. This year we follow the Cape Henlopen Vikings football team, fresh off their first state championship appearance in 40 years. Into the Trenches, 7:30, DSN and DSN+. Last night in the district, Dylan Strome's second period goal broke a 1-1 tie for the Capitals. The Caps would go on to win 3-1 over the Canadiens. They take a 2-0 lead in the first round of the playoff series. And here is the guy with what ended up being the game-winning goal.
I was trying to put the first one in and it didn't go in, and luckily, like I said, pretty lucky play, just goes right back to me, and that was a great play by O to change for Lenny and kind of do a quick up there, and then that was a great play by those guys.
Big challenge for the Caps in Game 3. It'll be the first home playoff game in Montreal since 2017 for the Canadiens. Plenty of energy expected there. Drop of the puck set on April 26th just after 7 p.m.
Oh boy, what a great time of year. NHL playoffs, baseball, football draft. It's just a plethora of activity. Dry Tech Cam in Ocean City, 51, clear skies. Watch for smoky and hazy conditions, especially this morning across Delmarva. Then improving conditions later today. Dry and mild the rest of the week, then a wet start to the weekend. I'll track it all on FutureCast coming up in 2 minutes.
Time is now 5:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Ocean City this morning. Bob, a little bit cooler this morning, but this weekend I know you said there was possibly some rain. We have the DSN Outdoors Expo, so I think people looking to attend that are wondering what the weather is going to look like.
Yeah, at least I think it's looking great for day one, which is tomorrow. But day two, that's a little sketchy because we're looking at that chance of rain. Of course, it's coming up Friday beginning at 3 p.m. in Harrington at the Delaware State Fairgrounds. And we're looking at good conditions tomorrow. Southeast breeze, don't have to worry about smoke and haze. Looking at a mix of sun and clouds, mid-70s, and then cooling through the evening hours to mid-60s by about 8 p.m. Then the bad news, day two, which begins at 10 a.m. We're looking at on and off showers through the morning into the afternoon. Could get some rumbles of thunder too, so keep that in mind, and with a southwesterly breeze. So day one, clearly the better of the 2 days. It's a cool start out there this morning. 44 in Laurel, 43 in Dagsboro, 42 in Gumboro, Millsboro 44. So it's chilly out there. Leave extra time to warm up the car. Rehoboth 48, Lewis 51. Conditions are calm under high pressure as we have clear skies, good visibility, but we do have that chance for seeing haze and smoke this morning. There are some high clouds that are filtering in from the west, so we're looking at a mostly sunny day. Some showers to our south and west along the front, but I think high pressure will be hanging pretty tough as we go through the next couple of days. But here's that smoke on our FutureCast. You can see that thicker smoke across areas of Maryland towards Ocean City near Salisbury this morning, and then it does move back into areas of Sussex County by late this morning, western Sussex County around Seaford, and then the eastern shore. If you suffer from health problems, it's best just to stay inside in filtered air for today. And then we'll see the thickest of the haze and smoke eastern shore up towards Kent and Newcastle counties by this afternoon. And I think the air quality does improve this afternoon and this evening as we see a southeasterly breeze. But it's chilly this morning with 40s and 50s. And then by mid-morning, we're lower 60s from Salisbury to Long Neck with 50s and 60s at the beaches. By 12:30, mid-70s well inland, but a little cooler at the beaches. Don't know if it's going to be this cool in Dewey Beach and Fenwick Island, but definitely 50s and lower 60s there. While inland areas, mid-70s from Millsboro back through Delmar. And this evening, some clouds, temperatures cooling back into the 60s, 50s, and eventually upper 40s in some spots Friday morning. And then as we go through your Friday, another good-looking day, lots of sunshine. Inland areas into the mid-70s from Salisbury to Milton with the southeasterly breeze and increasing clouds as well. And those clouds thicken up as we go into Friday evening, but we'll keep it dry there. We'll keep it dry very early Saturday morning, and then I think we'll see showers increasing as we go through Saturday morning into the afternoon. Maybe some rumbles of thunder too. Not expecting severe weather. Then we'll see that front come through. The rain ends and it's a drier and cooler Sunday on the way. Not a ton of rain, maybe about a quarter to about 3/10 of an inch of rain. We need the rain. Of course, not the best timing with the DSN Outdoors Expo and it being the weekend. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, mid-70s today right through Saturday. Saturday is the best chance of rain and storms of the next several. Cooler on Sunday, 68 with sunshine, and then milder next week. Maybe another shower chance by Wednesday and 84 degrees.
Thank you, Bob. The debate over home-based businesses in Lewis continues today at a special meeting. The Planning and Zoning Commission will present an update on an ordinance that would allow these types of businesses. One woman who wants to run a dog grooming business in her Lewis basement sparked the Lewis Planning Commission to create a specific subcommittee. The subcommittee is currently reassessing all of its regulations in the growing town. Some locals think it's a good idea to a certain extent.
They want to keep their house. They don't want to be homeless. Yeah. So they figure out a way, something that they're good at, something that they really enjoy, and they can make a business out of it. And they ought to be given the opportunity to do that.
And the meeting takes place this morning at 10 a.m. And the time is now 5:52, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Yeah, let's take a look at our coastal pet of the day and see if we can get it up there. There it is. We're going to take a look at Stu. Stu comes to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. Look at Stu there. Seems very happy. We know he's playful. We know he loves to go on walks. He loves plenty of attention. He's a very sweet boy, so please, somebody go out there, adopt Stu. They also have other lovable pets at the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Yeah, they got the QR code there. Scan that, get your friends to us here, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Southwest Airlines has announced it will be cutting flights in the second half of the year. The company cited economic uncertainty as the reason. The scale back comes as the airline ends its open seating model and free checked luggage. Earlier this month, United and Delta announced they were reducing domestic flights in the second half of the year as well.
Tech giant Intel is planning to lay off more than 20% of its staff. That's according to a report from Bloomberg News. The media outlet says it is part of an effort to eliminate bureaucracy and streamline management. The chip maker has faced years of declining sales and struggled to keep pace with NVIDIA in artificial intelligent computing.
It is 5:56, so we're going to take another look at your forecast.
Yeah, Bob, we're continuing a great stretch of sunshine today.
We are. And I mentioned this earlier, too, guys, that it's going to be smoky and hazy out there, especially this morning. So if you do suffer from respiratory problems, it's best to stay inside in filtered air. At least the first half of the day, I think conditions improve air quality-wise the second half. But it's chilly out the door. We've got temperatures into the 40s this morning. Leave extra time to warm up the car, bundle up the kids a little bit. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds, once again, kind of hazy and smoky. Temperatures warming through the 60s. I think inland areas, there's Matt's sunny and 75 at 3 p.m., but a little cooler at the beaches. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Friday, partly cloudy, 76, and then the first half of the weekend looking wet. Some showers, maybe some thunderstorms too on Saturday, 75. Cooler on Sunday, 68. Dry and mild on Monday, and then it's mild Tuesday, upper 70s. Looks like our next shower chance comes on Wednesday, 85. Mild through the end of the week, and maybe a few more showers on Friday.
All right, thanks, Bob. And coming up in our next hour, wind worries. How it is an obstacle in getting the New Jersey wildfire under control and the effects seen and smelled in our area. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.